The next question: consider the following statements regarding the members of the Union Council of Ministers. So all are correct. Cabinet ministers subscribe to the same oath or affirmation as the Minister of State. Cabinet minister's salary is same as that of the Minister of State. So both are correct. The cabinet minister subscribe the oath or affirmation of the Minister of State, and cabinet minister's salary is the same as that of the Minister of State. Which of the following parts of the government? Which of the following are parts of the government? It is legislative, executive, autonomous bodies of the executive and judiciary. So all are correct. Which of the following? Which of the following is a sufficient method to provide a constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes, as she has been recently proposed by the Government of India? Which of the following is a sufficient methods to provide a constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes, and has been recently proposed by the Government of India? It is amendment of the Constitution of India through a Constitutional Amendment Act passed by a special majority and ratified by a list of the state legislature. So which of the following sufficient methods to provide constitutional status to the National Commission for Backward Classes has been recently proposed by the government? Not others. Amendment of the NCBC not. So D is the correct. So arrange the following in top-down hierarchy within the ministry under the Government of India. So it is department top-down. First is department, is secretary. So general is a designations in Government of India. Department secretary, wing special secretary, and additional secretary, joint secretary, division director, joint director, deputy secretary, branch under secretary, section officer. Okay, department is the first department secretary, and then wing special secretary, division director, joint director, branch under secretary, section officer. So department, wing, division, branch, section. So consider the following statement. So here two is the correct. So dissolution of the House of People leads to the dissolution of the Council of Ministers. Dissolution of the House of the People leads to the dissolution of the Council of Ministers. It's correct too, but one is not correct. Dissolution of the Council of Ministers leads to the dissolution of the House of the People. Not dissolution of the House of People. It leads to the dissolution of the Council of Ministers. Next, which of the following statement fundamental rights have been held by a constitutional bench of the Supreme Court as in natural rights recently? So here is the correct: right to privacy. So which of the following fundamental rights have been held by the constitutional bench in the Supreme Court as the natural rights of recently? So right to privacy, but others: right to life and right to freedom of speech and expression, not correct. Consider the following statements regarding the meaning of the state and law, which have been mentioned in Part 3 of the Constitution. State and law mentioned in the Part 3 of the Constitution. So here 1 and 2 are correct. So Article 12 of the Constitution provides definition of a state, and Article 13 provides for the doctrine of judicial review and the definition of the law. So both 1 and 2 are correct. So but 3 is not correct. A constitutional amendment is included in the meaning of law as given under Article 13. It's not correct. 3 is not correct. The Supreme Court in the Sanghari versus Union of India 1951 held that the term law as given under the Article 13(2) includes ordinary legislation but not Constitutional Amendment Act Article 13(3). The defense is law does not include the Constitutional Amendment Act. Under it, further Article 13.4, which is the added 24th Constitutional Amendment Act 1974, Act 71, so excludes constitutional amendments from the priority of the definition of the law under this Article 13. Which of the following which of the following, in the light of recent disqualification, where some members of the Council of States examine the following statements? Recent disqualification in some member. In the recent disqualification of some members of the Council of State, examine the following statements. 3 and 4 are correct. So 3 is resignation of a members of the political party is a ground of his disqualification. So resignation of the member from the members of the political party is a ground of his disqualification. And expulsion of a members of the parliament from his political party does not result in his disqualification. The resignation of a member from the membership of the political party is a ground of his disqualification. Expulsion of a member of the parliament from his political party does not result in his disqualification. But others are not correct. The decision of the petition under anti-defamation law is taken of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha not correct. Apart from the chairman of the Rajya Sabha regarding the disqualification is excluded from the judicial review not correct. 1 and 2. The power of in case of the disqualification petition is on office or a profit of the MP and MLA is vested in the president or the governor, as the case may be, who needs to act in accordance with the recommendation of the election commission. In decision under anti-defection law is subject to judicial review. Kyoto Holahan versus Jachilhu in 1992 case. Which of the following statements regarding the veto power and of the president is correct? So 3 and 4 are correct. While the applying suspensive or pocket veto, the president enjoys discretionary powers, but he cannot apply absolute veto or any bill without the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers. A constitutional amendment bill is beyond veto power, president. So here it is the correct. So first is not correct. It is a power. So veto power. It is a power of the president to allow, suspend, reject, or sell indemnity a bill passed by the parliament. Not correct. The president enjoys the power of the apply to suspend veto on a money bill. Not correct. So but 3 and 4 correct. While applying suspensive or pocket veto, the president enjoys discretionary power, but he cannot apply absolute veto or any other bill without the aid of the advice of the Council of Ministers. A constitutional amendment bill beyond the veto power of the president. So when the president allows legislation by giving his assent to the bill, it is not called applicable to application of veto. Therefore, statement 1 is wrong. The suspensive veto is exercised by the president when he returns a bill for recommendation of the parliament. The veto can be overridden by repassage of the bill by the same ordinary majority. The president does not possess this veto in the case of money bill. The president can give his assent to the money bill, but cannot return for the reconsideration of the president of the parliament. Statement 3 and 4 are correct. He can withhold his assent to the bill and not return the bill for recommendation of the parliament. Next, consider the following statements regarding the difference between preamble and the rest of the constitution. So both are correct. The preamble is not an essential part of the constitution as opposed by the rest of the constitution. The preamble remains to the realm of what the law ought to be, and rest of the constitution pertains to what the law is. So both are correct. The preamble is not an essential part of the constitution as opposed to the rest of the constitution. The preamble pertains to the realm of what the law ought to be, and the rest of the constitution pertains to what the law is. So both are correct. In Kesavananda Bharati case, the Supreme Court held that the preamble is a part of the Constitution and it is extreme importance. It is an extreme importance. The Constitution should be read and interpreted in the light on the ground and novel version expressed in the preamble statement 1 is correct, and because the preamble is a part and not an essential part of the Constitution. Consider the following statements regarding the special powers of the Rajya Sabha. So special power, the powers of the are exercised under the Article 249 and Article 312 and are bound by time as the maximum period is specified for the operation of such a resolution in 1 year. So one is not correct. GSN of the All India Judicial Service does not require the innovation of the special power of Rajya Sabha and the Constitution. 42nd Amendment Act 1971 provided for the creation of such a service by parliamentary law. So Article 22, here first question is the statements regarding the special powers of the Rajya Sabha. Article 249 deals with the powers and parliament, deals with the Article 249 deals with the powers of parliament to legislate with respect to a matter in the state list, the national interest, while Article 312 deals with the creation of all India services. The maximum duration of the resolution passed under Article 249 is 1 year, whereas there is no time duration prescribed for such a resolution under Article 312. Creation of all India judicial service certainly requires the passage of a resolution under Article 312 as a constitutional 42nd Amendment Act 1976 all inserted the expressed all India judicial service in Article 312 so that any such service can be created in the future by the passage of such a resolution followed by the parliamentary law. Consider the following statements regarding the representation of Union territories in the parliament. So, B is the correct. The Union territories are represented in the House of the People, though fair direct election from territorial constituencies. Consider the following statements regarding the representation of the Union territories in the parliament. Union territories in the parliament. The Union territories are represented in the House of People through direct election from the territorial constituencies. The Constitution of India prescribes for the representation of Union territories in the Rajya Sabha in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. As per under Article 80, representation of states is as per proportional representation by STV. As per Article 80, representation of UT shall be in such a manner that Parliament may be by law prescribed. So method of representation of the youth for UT in Rajya Sabha is not prescribed by the Constitution. It is prescribed under through section 27H of RPH IP 1950 as such as statement 1 is correct incorrect. Next, consider the following pairs. So write against exploitation, Article 33, Article 23 and 24. Write against exploitation, it's correct. And cultural and educational rights, it is 29 to 30. So it's correct. So right to constitutional remedies, Article 226, that's not correct. But Article 226 to enforce fundamental rights, they have not been created by the Constitution, but protects the fundamental rights. And so the high courts can also enjoy the power to issue rights under Article 226 to enforce the fundamental rights. And Article 32 in the form of approaching the Supreme Court directly to get one's fundamental rights enforced. Right to constitutional remedies, okay, to enforce the fundamental rights only, it is provided under Article 32. Not Article 226, but Article 226. High courts also enjoy the powers of to issue rights under the Article 226 to enforce fundamental rights. But they have not been created by the Constitution as protectors of fundamental rights. With reference to right to equality, which of the following statements correct? So here equality before law is borrowed from the US Constitution, not correct. Equal protection of the law once was its origin into the English Constitution, not correct. So equality before law is borrowed from the English common law. Equal protection of the law was origin from American Constitution. So equality before law is borrowed from the English common law. Equal protection of law was in its origin from US Constitution, American Constitution. Equal protection of law, not English Constitution, it is from American Constitution. Consider the following statements about Union Executive. Its power extend to the manner matters with respect to what the Parliament has the power to make laws. It's correct. Its power, so Union Executive, its power to extend to the matters with respect to which the Parliament has power to make laws. Suppose one is correct, two is not correct. Every executive action must have a legislative sanction. Not correct. Statement one is related to Article 73. Parliament has the power to make law, and it states that the executive power of Union government extends to the matters with respect to which the Parliament has the power to make law, and executive cannot violate legislation, but need not always have legislative approval for all its actions. That is Niti Ayog's creation. Which of the following is a discretionary power of the President of India? So all not are correct. So all are not correct. None of the above are correct. So D is the correct. So President of India discretionary power, summoning a session of Parliament, not correct. Removing a minister from of the Union against whom there are allegations of the corruptions, not correct. The President addressed both House of Parliament at the beginning of the first session every year, not correct. Presidential reference to the Supreme Court of India, not correct. So here is the session of the decision summoned to advise the Union Council of Ministers in case of time limitation under the Article 85 is violated. Then the President President may summon a session at his discretion. The session is summoned on advice of the Executive Union Council of Ministers in case of the time limitation under Article 85 is violated. Then the President may summon a session at his discretion, removing a minister removing a minister. The session is summoned to advise the Union Council of Ministers in case of the time of limitation and under Article 85 is violated. Then the President may summon a session at his discretion, removing a minister of the Union, or mere allegation will not be justified. It is the Prime Minister who is expected to take action appropriately to either seek resignation or removal of the minister. Consider the following statements regarding the parliamentary system of governance. So all are not correct. The head of the state is elected by the people, not correct. There is an upper house of the world, not correct. There is a parliamentary system, not correct. So all given statements are incorrect, because the head of the state may be hereditary as well. The upper house is necessary of a federation. The supremacy of the parliament is not necessary. That is India. Which of the following presidents of India had the shortest term of office? It is Dr. Sri Zakir Hussain, 24 months. Zakir Hussain died in office after about 24 months spent in office. All the other elected presidents completed their terms. Next, parliamentary systems of governance. Because head of the state may be hereditary as well. The upper house is necessary of federation. The federation supremacy of the parliament is not necessary. In the context of the special provisions of the for weaker section mentioned in the Indian Constitution, consider the following statement. The main objective of the article section is to create create a constitutional right or right to equality of opportunity in matters of public employment for the citizen. And second is Article 16, especially states that backward citizens is measured on the basis of the social and educational backwardness and but not economic backwardness. So second is not correct. It is Article 15 that specifically states that backwardness of citizens is measured on the basis of social and educational backwardness. What constitutes backwardness of citizens is it matters of public employment as given under Article 16 was a matter of judicial preparedness interpretation given by the Supreme Court in Indra Swani versus Union of India 1992 case. Which of the following are correct definition of the above procedure established by law and data process of law? So both are not correct. Uses and practices as laid down in the statute are followed under the doctrine of due process of law. Intention of the law is examined under the procedure establishment by law. So both are not correct. The procedure establishment by law means the uses or practices is laid down in the statute of law or law. Due process of law means that the court should examine the law not only from the point of view of legislature's competence but also from the broad view of the intentions of the law. Next, the Finance Commission does not make recommendation on which of the following area. D. To determine the salaries of the central and the state government employees. So the Finance Commission does not make recommendation, but others make recommendations. Finance Commission, sharing of central tax, sharing of central taxes with the states, principles which govern the distribution of central grants to states, measures to improve the financial position of states in order to supplement of. So measure to improve the financial position of the states in order to supplement the resources of the panchayat and municipalities. So the pay commission is administrative system mechanism that the government of India set up determines the salaries of the government employees. The finance commission make recommendation on subject including sharing of central states taxes with the states, principles which govern the distribution of central grants to state, measures to improve the financial position of states in order to supplement of the resources of panchayats and municipalities. Recently, Government of India made Aadhaar mandatory for which of the following: for 1 and 2 filling of income tax return, and 2 is opening the bank accounts. 3 is not correct. All welfare scheme of the central government not correct. So Aadhaar mandatory for welfare scheme, and it is allowed. It has allowed the government to use sometimes some schemes. It is not permitted to the users. Used as a mandatory requirement. Consider the following statements is the correct. Schedule 3 of the Constitution contains only oath of affirmation of the office bearer under the Constitution, and 3 is no, Schedule 3 is not correct. So 1 is not correct. 2 and 3 are correct. So Schedule 3 also contains oath or affirmation to be taken by the contestants to union and state legislature. So 1 is not correct. So second is correct. Schedule 4 of the Constitution. The Constitution contains the representation of states in the Council of States. Third is correct. Representation of states in the House of People is mentioned in the schedule to the Representation of People Act 1950. So 2 and 3 are correct. Schedule 4 of the Constitution contains the representation of states in the Council of Ministers. Representation of states in the House of the People is mentioned in the schedule to the Representation of People's Act 1950. Which of the following state provisions pertaining to Indian Parliament vote from the Constitution of Australia? It is 1, 2 and 3. Joint sitting of the House of Parliament, it is correct. Power of the Council of States to suggest amendment or to amendment and concurrent list. So provisions pertaining to Indian Parliament are borrowed from the Constitution of Australia. But 4 is not correct. Indirect election. Members of the Council of States not correct. So 1, 2, and 3 are correct. So, so last question. The powers of the Council of State suggest amendment to a money bill be borrowed from the section 53 of the Australian Council indirect election of Council of Minister, Council of Central, Council of States was borrowed from the then the South Asia, South Africa. That is the indirect election. But Australia from Australia it is concurrent. It is. Last question: which of the following statements correct regarding the office of the Prime Minister of India? It is one. So far, only 14% have been appointed as Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is giving the term of 5 years. Not correct. The term the Prime Minister must be little member of the other House of Parliament to shall become the. So it's the 6 months of appointment. Not correct. So one is correct only. Same word Narendra Modi, the 14th Prime Minister. Sri GL Nanda was appointed only as the acting Prime Minister. And there is no term prescribed for the Prime Minister. It depends on the majority enjoyed in the Lok Sabha and the term of the Lok Sabha. Prime Minister must become a member of the other House of the Parliament within 6 months or of appointment. Nomination can be a way to gain certain membership and election is not necessary. So 36. Next question. Next time.